Hi there, this is Andrew Adams from Parker Adams Boat Sales. I'm down here in Brighton Marina on another beautiful day. Maybe summer has finally arrived. Now the reason I'm down here is because I'm taking on a Sealine S23. We're doing this on a marketing only package, so the owner will be doing viewings on this boat down in Brighton, but we're here today to record the videos, do the photographs and get this boat listed. Now, the Sealine S23 is actually one of my favourite small sports boats. I think they have an amazing amount of space down below and they make a brilliant family boat. Now, one of the things that I always get asked when it comes to S23s are several key questions, and I love the fact that on this boat I can answer yes to everything. So, does the boat have a Bowthruster? Yes. Does the boat have heating? Yes. Does the boat have some nice decking over the cockpit and the bow? Yes, it does. Has the boat been well maintained and well looked after? Yes. Now, on the maintenance side of it, what's really nice about this boat, and I'll show you, is it's got one of those folders, the sort of folder that you love to see when you go on board a boat. So you open it up and every page has got what's been spent on the boat. On there you've got service records, service bills. The engine is really low hours, it's only done 635 hours at the moment. The boat is still in use by Chris and his family, so that will go up a little bit by the time people get to view the boat, but only a few hours. And the beauty of this engine, it's a CAD 32, so it's got that really nice blend of fuel economy whilst actually giving some really good performance as well. So what we'll start off doing, Chris is helping me with the camera today, so we're going to work our way down the boat. I'll start off on the bow, pointing out some of the features on the bow, and then I'll step on board the boat and show you the rest of the boat. So I'm excited to bring you this boat. So as we walk down, something Chris mentioned to me earlier, and actually I didn't realise it on the S23, we've talked about this a lot on things like Merry Fishers, which are more modern boats, that they have a slightly offset cabin space, which means that you have a much safer, wider area to walk down. And the S23 is the same, so you've got a slightly smaller side on the starboard side than the port side. So the port side is where you walk down to do your fenders, and the access is really, really good around here. You've got guardrail access the whole way round. I'm not sure if Chris has replaced these, but it looks like all these have been replaced in the not too distant future past even, because these all look very, very crisp and new, and often you see this starts to go through to the bare wire, but it hasn't done that on this. Inside here you've got an anchor. It's an anchor fitted with chain, with a generous amount of chain, so it's really nice and easy to go to anchorages. And you can operate an electric anchor winch on this boat from both the bow area and also from the cockpit. So it's really nice. You turn it on in the cockpit area and then operate it from here. Fender baskets are really useful, particularly on a smaller sized boat where you never quite know where to put all your fenders. This boat's fitted with three fender baskets on each side, so 6 of your fenders can be stored up here, and if you do have another couple, they can always be stored in the cockpit area. Cleats are always nicely positioned on sea lines, so good easy to access cleats here, midships and at the stern, so putting on your spring lines is nice and easy. And as you can see, these guardrails are a good height all the way round to give good access. The bow of this boat has had a product put on it called Vassadec. It's a PVA foam, which is really, really nice and soft underfoot, and I think it does just modernise the boat and make it feel, just makes it feel really, really fresh and slightly different to other Sealine S23s. Something I should have mentioned is this Sealine S23 is actually a 2004 model, so it's the very last model year they did the S23. And it just means that all the improvements that they've done to the S23 range over the years have all been put onto this boat, which is great. So as you walk around, you'll notice that's the heating outlet. Something that always looks a silly thing, but I always make sure there's no cleat just above it, because so many people end up hanging their fenders by the heating vent. But it's good to see there's nothing above that, so you can't have any little accidents on there. So hanging fenders here or here means you miss the vent. What I'll do is I'll just grab hold of the camera and we'll just step on board the boat. Now you'll see this Vassadec is fitted throughout the boat, and you've got this really nice platform that just lifts up and goes down. It also reduces your mooring fee slightly, because when that's up and the marina come to measure your boat, it means that your boat is just that little bit shorter, but it does give you just that little bit more walk around space. And of course you can rest a tender onto that and then tie the tender onto this stainless steel bar there if you wanted to. You've got a hot and cold shower on the transom, which is really nice if you've gone for a swim. And then the space that you get up in this cockpit area, I think, is market leading. You have easily enough space to get 5 people around here. I know some people have put a little pad on that cushion there, which then makes this basically a dining experience for 6 people, which on a 23-foot boat, I think is exceptional. We step back and really have a good feel for it there. It's also nice you've got this helm seat bench. Now it's designed for 2 people, but comfortably you can get 2 adults and a child on there as well. And the navigation's been updated on this boat as well. So you've got one of the later generation SIMRAD Go plotters. It looks like a SIMRAD Go 9, I think, that one. I mentioned earlier it's got Bowthruster. This is your Bowthruster control. Marine Tri-Data, stereo system, Carling switches, standard Horizon VHF. There's another plotter up there. It's also got AIS fitted. And you also have automatic trim tabs. So you've got a really nice JMP Marine system on this boat where you've got the trim tab system where you can just press auto and it'll hold your attitude and your angle, or you can manually control the trim tabs on either side as well. So this has all been beautifully presented. The previous owner of this boat had all this dash done, so he had I think it was wooden originally, he had all that removed, and this was all professionally done by Osmotech on the handle. This is the service manuals I was mentioning about. I always love to go onto a boat and see that people keep a folder of literally every nut and bolt that's been spent on board the boat is all in here. Fire safety certificates, so the fire extinguisher was all done within the last year. In fact, that was done done earlier in January this year. So all the documents there, even down to when visiting Forceful Chandlery and buying bits and bobs for the boat, are all in there. So it's lovely to see that level of attention to detail. Now, in terms of getting access to the engine, let's carry on here. What I'm going to do is just to clamp the GoPro onto here for a second, and then you can just see how we get access to the engine. It's a good system on this where you lift up this table, press that and push it down, and then the owner just keeps a little bungee cord, goes into there and then clips across onto the other side, which then means that that's lifted up out the way. Lift that up so you can just see there. So that's the table there, lifted up and now in a nice high position out the way. All we need to do is just take this one cushion off, pop the cushion up here, lift this up out the way, and now you've got access to the engine where all you need to do is just lift this lever and the engine hatch comes up. And you can see nestling in here is a very nice clean engine bay, and sitting down there is the CAD 32. It's a turbo diesel engine which also has a supercharger. As I mentioned earlier, it gives you that nice blend of economy and also performance. Just pop that down again. And to put the boat back into social position again, we can easily just slide those into there. Now this engine also had a refurbished stern drive that was fitted to the boat this year. So again, in terms of giving people a boat where it really should be trouble-free boating, this boat is an exceptional example. It really has had so much money spent on it, and it's owned by someone who cares passionately about the boat and also the safety of his family. So you can see that from having the fire safety certificate and all the fire extinguishers recharged, which doesn't always get done on boats. You can also see that the windows have been replaced in the front and the rear, and he's also got on order the windows to be replaced in the rear as well. So that will have brand new windows by the time the boat goes onto the market. So let's step down below. Space-wise, as always on the S23 is great. For a 23-foot boat, you have this really, really good size U-shaped seating area here, and clever little design features like when you convert this into a bed, you can lift this up and that then anchors up into that position there, which means the bed goes all the way back into there, and you've got storage just in there for another couple of the infill cushions. This table drops down into that position to create a very large double bed area. You've got a galley on this side, you've got a 2-burner gas hob on here, good storage space everywhere, and of course you have another cabin down here. So down here you've got a large double bed, and you've also got what I really like, and I didn't notice this before, but you've also got access to that cabin up here. So good from a safety point of view that you can get out, but that also must be really nice to sleep in there at night. For anybody that doesn't like sleeping in those bunks which have the space under, you can feel really, really protected under there, which is nice, and lots of air and light. You've of course got a heads, so this is a fairly basic heads on the S23, but you've got a manual flush toilet that again has been replaced in recent years, pull-out shower which goes onto a bracket. So it's a simple but functional head on the S23. There's also a television which is included in the sale, so that's up there, and it just makes this a very, very cosy space. And as I say, I really can't state enough times that the Sealine, the way that the Sealine use space, it really is market leading. Control just down here for the heating system. So as I said, heating and Bowthruster are probably the two most desirable extras that come on the Sealine S23. So in terms of your engine systems, if I just turn the ignition on here, that will all fire up, and then all of your gauges all in nice condition all the way around here, all of your Carling switches. If I turn the engine on, instant start up, you can hear that and the engine now running, very, very easy to start engine, and actually surprisingly quiet in the engine bay area there. I'll just turn that off again. So I think I've probably run through everything. This boat, as I've mentioned, is based down in Brighton Marina. Chris, the owner, is going to be doing a viewing, so if you're interested in this boat, then just get in touch with us, and what we'll do is we'll then put you directly in touch with Chris, work out the diaries, the best times for you to come and view the boat, and then hand you over to Chris and leave you in his capable hands. But I really like the S23. I think it is a brilliant boat for the size, for the use of space, and it's lovely to be back on board another one. So thanks as always for watching. If you've got any questions, anything that I haven't covered, please do put it into the comments. We love reading the comments. We try and answer to everything as well. If you haven't done already, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. We love bringing these videos, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks as always.